We spend so much time picking out the perfect color and style for our laminate flooring, but what goes under it? That's often an afterthought, but I'm here to tell you it's just as important as the floor itself. Choosing the right insulation is a total game changer for your home's comfort and, get this, even your energy bills. So let's break down how to get it right. We've all been there, right? That shocking jolt of a cold floor when you first get out of bed. It's more than just a little annoyance. It's a screaming sign that your home is literally losing heat right through your feet. And here's the thing about that lost heat. It translates directly into dollars and cents. Every single time you feel that chill, your heating system is working overtime to compensate, and your energy bills are just creeping up and up and up. So yeah, a cold floor isn't just uncomfortable, it's expensive. So how do we fix this? Well, it's all about insulation. The best way I've heard it described is to think of it like a warm, invisible hug for your floor. It's just a simple barrier that sits between your subfloor and your new laminate, trapping that cozy warmth in your room and blocking the cold from seeping in. Now, to pick the right insulation, there's one little piece of jargon you absolutely have to know, and that's R value. All it is a simple rating that tells you how well a material resists heat from passing through it. And the rule here is dead simple. The higher the R value, the better it is at resisting heat, which means you get a warmer floor. That's it. When you're shopping around, that's the number to keep your eye on. Okay, so you know you need insulation and you're looking for a good R value. But which type is right for your home? To figure that out, let's run through a quick personal checklist. So think about your own space for a second. What's your subfloor made of? Is it a cold concrete slab or wood? Do you live somewhere with those bone-chilling winters? Are you putting this floor in a basement where moisture could be an issue? Your answers to these questions are going to point you straight to the perfect material for your job. All right, with those answers in mind, let's meet the main players. We're going to do a quick side-by-side comparison of the most common insulation materials you'll find for laminate flooring. Let's kick things off with cork. This is a fantastic option, especially if you're looking for something natural and eco-friendly. It comes from the bark of cork oak trees, and its natural honeycomb structure is full of these tiny air pockets, which makes it an amazing insulator for both heat and sound. So here's the deal with cork. On the plus side, it's naturally resistant to moisture and mold, which is a huge win. The trade-off? Well, it can be a bit pricier than other options, and you have to be careful not to get a version that's too thick because it could mess with the floor's locking system. Next up is felt, which is typically made from really dense, recycled fibers. This stuff is an absolute champion when it comes to soundproofing. Seriously, if you live in an apartment or a two-story house, this is one you should definitely be looking at. The main trade-off with felt really comes down to moisture. You get fantastic noise reduction, and it feels super warm under your feet, but it's not naturally moisture resistant. So if you're using it in a spot that might get damp, you absolutely have to get a version with a vapor barrier built right in. Now, what if you're dealing with a basement or a room that's just always cold and damp? Well, then you need to bring in the heavy hitter, and that's where XPS foam comes in. Think of this as the high-density, super durable solution. XPS has incredible moisture resistance and a really high R value. Plus, it's tough as nails and won't compress over time. I mean, if you're finishing a basement with a concrete slab floor, this is pretty much a must-have. Just keep in mind that it can raise your floor height a little bit, and it's going to feel harder underfoot compared to something softer like cork. Another really common and versatile option you'll see everywhere is foam board. These are rigid panels that pack a serious insulation punch for health in the R, and they work especially well over wooden subfloors. Its biggest strength is offering a fantastic R value without adding a lot of height, and it's super easy to install. But, and I can't stress this enough, it is not for areas that are prone to moisture unless you pair it with a separate, properly installed vapor barrier. If you skip that step, you're just asking for trouble down the line. And finally, there's a hybrid option that's getting more and more popular, Eco Cork Foam. And just like the name suggests, it's a blend of granulated cork and polyethylene foam, and it's designed to give you the best of both worlds. This material is all about providing that comfortable cushioning underfoot while also giving you the great natural insulating power of cork. It's lightweight and eco-friendly. The main trade-offs here are cost. It's going to be more expensive than a basic foam, and it might just be a little harder to find, depending on where you shop. Okay, you've done your homework, you've picked your material. Awesome. Now comes the most important part, the installation. Getting this right is absolutely key to getting all those benefits of warmth and quiet. But don't worry, it's actually more straightforward than you might think. Here are the 4 crucial steps you cannot skip. First, prepare your subfloor. It has to be clean, totally dry, and level. Second, acclimate. Let your underlayment just sit in the room for at least 24 hours. Third, when you lay it down, butt the edges up right against each other. Do not overlap them. And fourth, always leave a small, 1/4-inch expansion gap around the edges of the room. This gives it room to breathe and prevents buckling. And let me give you the inside scoop on the most common mistakes people make. First, never, ever install over a damp subfloor. It is a recipe for mold. Avoid underlayment that's too thick for your floor's locking system. Don't overlap the seams. And maybe most important of all, actually read the manufacturer's instructions. They're there for a reason, I promise. So let's wrap this all up. Choosing the right underlayment is one of those invisible upgrades that you will feel every single day. You'll feel it in the warmth under your feet, you'll hear it in the quietness of the room, and you'll see it on your lower energy bills. It really is a pretty small investment when you think about the total cost of a new floor. But the returns you get in just daily comfort and peace of mind, they are absolutely massive. So as you think about your next home project, just remember that it's often the small, unseen choices that make the biggest difference. The question is, what simple choice could make your home that much more comfortable this winter?